And here we
Ciao
are,
Fabri.
guys. Ciao, ciao, guys. Ciao, Fra. How are you?
All good, all good. We are here ready for some news, I think.
Always ready for some news. Yes, guys, as I told you, again, I will explain more in details in the next days, but we will be a lot here live together, as always, every single day. So the YouTube videos you are used to find will be also here live, also to interact with some of you, but also to drop you all the latest. And just to start, I tell you, for example, that a former Premier League player from West Ham, Kurt Zouma, is signing with Al Wasl in Dubai, and then a Premier League manager like Kate Andrews, who is doing a fantastic job at Brentford, signs a new contract at the club until June 2032. So everything signed this afternoon, and Kate Andrews is staying at Brentford. So there is always something happening in the market, but also many things to say, many things to explain. And so let's go with the topics of the day.
Topic of the day, and we start with a team that is mentioned a lot here in the chat on YouTube. So please send questions, and we will try to answer as many as possible. We start talking about Arsenal and their plans for the summer 2026.
Yeah, I wanted to start with Arsenal because Arsenal, the main focus heavy on on the titles they can win this season for sure. But in the background, there are always talks, always discussions, and always things happening. One thing I can guarantee is that Arsenal will work on eventually midfielders in the summer. We know, for example, some of the names, some of the options they already considered in January after the injury of Mikel Merino. So Arsenal are looking at some options, but I can tell you that one of the priorities in the summer transfer window for Arsenal, I think a bit underrated in this moment in terms of media, could be also to add a younger right back to the squad. So Arsenal are also considering the possibility to do something not just in midfield, but could be also at right back position and also on the winger position. So Arsenal are going to be active in the summer transfer window. Of course, this season is still absolutely underway. Arsenal are competing on every single front, so they're trying to win as many titles as possible. But the work behind the scenes is starting to prepare the summer transfer window, to start working on right back, midfielder, and eventually something also up front. So I think Arsenal are going to be busy. We will be more clear in terms of targets, in terms of names. At this stage is still too, but I can guarantee that Arsenal will have an important window, I would say.
Mentioning Arsenal, I see some questions here in the chat, and a name mentioned is Sandro Tonali. There were a lot of rumors in the last days of the January transfer window. You denied them already, but talking about Tonali specifically, where do you think he can go, if he can go somewhere in the summer? So what's the situation be like?
I think there is a strong possibility to see Sandro Tonali moving in the summer transfer window. Then I always say let's respect Newcastle, because we saw how tough it is to sign top players from Newcastle. Ask Liverpool what happened last summer with the very long negotiation with Alexander Isak. The deal was completed, imagine, on deadline day after more than 2-3 months negotiations. So it's never easy to sign top players from Newcastle. But at the same time, I can guarantee that there is a possibility to see Sandro Tonali leaving Newcastle in the summer transfer window. Where to go? I mean, with Arsenal, conversations, appreciation for sure. But at the moment, what I said is that in January was absolutely impossible, not even realistic, not even a negotiation, because Arsenal were never going to try and make something impossible happen. They know that Newcastle were never letting Sandro leave in the January transfer window. So that story was absolutely impossible. In the summer, could be different. So let's see with Arsenal, but it's not only Arsenal. I can say that, for example, the player is being washed by Manchester United. Let's see what's going to happen also with Italian clubs. For example, Juventus dream of Sandro Tonali, but of course it's a very expensive deal, and so it's complicated for Italian clubs to make it happen. And let's see if Juventus will be in Champions League football next season or not. So there are many factors keeping this story still open. What I can say is that it's not only Italy, it's also Premier League, and it's not only Arsenal. So it's going to be an important battle to follow. And also, let's see the price, because again, is Newcastle dictating the timing, the price of this Sandro Tonali story. And when you go sit with Newcastle, is never easy.
Another player that there are already a lot of rumors, to be honest. That's Victor Osimhen. He was a key player for Galatasaray, especially on Wednesday during the Champions League game against Juventus with a key goal. There are also rumors about a potential move to Juventus in the summer, but I'm expecting, and probably you're expecting too, to be a busy summer for Osimhen as well.
Yeah, also in this case, we have to see what's going to happen with Galatasaray, because obviously Galatasaray are now dreaming in Champions League, Turkish league. Galatasaray in this moment are more than excited, obviously, with Victor Osimhen, and the player is completely focused on this gala mission. Then, on the summer, I want to specify one thing. There are many stories about Juventus. Why? Because Victor Osimhen, first of all, has always been a dream target for Juventus. They tried to sign him in the past, in the recent years, but was not possible with Napoli. Now he's at Galatasaray. Then Victor Osimhen speaks about Juventus before the first leg in a very nice way. Then after the second leg in a very nice way. Yesterday he met with Alessandro Del Piero, who is obviously a Juventus legend, an Italian legend, and Osimhen was showing all his admiration. So there is a feeling, there is a very good feeling between Victor Osimhen and Juventus. But don't forget what happened last summer. When Galatasaray signed Victor Osimhen last summer from Napoli, they included a clause to make it impossible to sign Victor Osimhen this summer for Italian clubs. So this summer, I think we are close to 99.9% no for Victor Osimhen to join Juventus. So let's see if some other club will try to tempt Galatasaray, maybe from Premier League, maybe from different leagues. We know he's always been a player appreciated by Paris Saint-Germain. So let's see what's going to happen there. But at the moment, again, many rumors, many stories on Juventus, but there is a specific clause to avoid a transfer to Italian clubs, not just Juventus. An Italian return for Victor Osimhen wanted by Napoli president De Laurentiis when they sold the player to Galatasaray last summer. So I don't think it's going to be Italy this summer. In the future, let's see what happens, because this feeling between Juventus and Osimhen is for sure something we have to take into consideration.
And then one of the last topics for today is about Cristiano Ronaldo. It was a big day today. There was a big announcement from his side about an ownership that now you will explain better, and then also makes also clear what's his future be like.
Yes, on Cristiano Ronaldo, I wanted to take some time also to explain our friends here on the channel, always sending many questions, also trying to understand what's going on, why this announcement in this moment for Cristiano Ronaldo. Let me tell you, first of all, what happened today. Cristiano Ronaldo has decided to buy 25% of Almería in Spanish second division, a very ambitious club with a very good project, already led by a Saudi group. So for sure there is an important investment in Almería and important plans for Almería. That's for sure, and that's why Cristiano decided to go public with that. And also this message sent by Cristiano today is, I want to be ambitious on but also off the pitch, even beyond the pitch. So the message coming from Cristiano is very clear. What I can add to this today is that apart from Cristiano Ronaldo will decide to retire, I can guarantee that this is not the end. So Cristiano Ronaldo is going to invest, according to information I have, on eventually more clubs if there is the possibility. So it's not only Almería. The idea of Cristiano Ronaldo is to consider opportunities around the world where there is value, where there is a very good project, where there is the possibility to see and invest on something interesting. So today the news is about Almería, but I'm sure that in the near future we will see Cristiano considering investments eventually on more clubs. Why? Because Cristiano wants to get ready for the moment. We know that moment will arrive when retire. We hope football fans is going to be as late as possible, but obviously Cristiano Ronaldo always loves to prepare a plan for his future. It was like this, being very careful on everything he did on the pitch, and is exactly the same off the pitch. So Cristiano is preparing his future in football. Today is Almería. In the next months and years are going to be more investments, because Cristiano has very clear ideas. He wants to remain into the football world. He wants to build things with his vision, with his mentality. And this is why today he started this process. But again, I'm expecting much more to follow, because this is just the beginning for Cristiano Ronaldo and for his ambitious plans.
And this is just the beginning also for us with the new project being live more often. So we will follow that as well. Fabio, I don't know if you want to conclude with something or that's it.
Yeah, no. I think we're done for today, but ready for much more. As you said, we're going to be live a lot here on the channel on YouTube. We will keep going with our daily videos with all the updates. There is going to be plenty of news to come. I think also on some talents because I told already our friends here, it's going to be a busy summer. And I mentioned Jan Diomande from Leipzig, and also of Kees Smit. I keep repeating the name of Kees Smit from AZ Alkmaar because on this midfielder there is going to be a lot of movement from Premier League giants. Real Madrid are following the player, and not only. So for Kees Smit is going to be very soon a crucial time to understand what's going to happen next. It was impossible in January when Newcastle tried to sign the player, but in the summer is going to be busy with Kees Smit. So let's see. Real Madrid, Spanish giants in general, and Premier League top clubs ready for the battle on one of the best talents in midfield around. So thank you, Fra. Thank you guys for following us, and see you.